People are asking me all the time, Jill, what is going on with the market? Are things going up? Are they going down? Is it going to crash? What's happening? Well, I'll be honest with you. I don't have all the answers, but I think I do have some lovely numbers, some facts, and some figures to present to you so you can get a better understanding of where we've been and where we're at right now. And then maybe that will help you project into the future so you can make really good decisions for yourself. So in today's video, I'm covering 7 main topics, 7 areas of statistics to help you understand our market a little bit better. And I'm going back 10 years so you can see the trends and compare today's market to the past so it can be a little bit more tangible because, of course, hindsight's 2020, right? So if we can compare today's market to the past, I think it'll give you a better understanding, a better grip on what's going on so you can make really good decisions for yourself. Hi, I'm Jill Thomas, and each week I bring new videos about what it's like here to live in the Sunshine State here in Florida, and then of course real estate, and I focus on the Sarasota, Bradenton areas, which is what I cover. So if you've been thinking about maybe making a move here, or you just want to know more about real estate here, or you've got a property to sell, this might be a good channel for you to subscribe to and follow. So hit those little buttons if you would. But then really more importantly, when you're ready to make a move, make a change, or if you have further questions so you can make really good decisions for yourself, then please reach out to me, call, text, email me. I'm here to help. So now here we go. Here are 7 things I would like to share with you about today's real estate market as we look to the past as well. Number 1, active inventory. So as you can see, before we get started, I just want to point out that this covers the Northport, Sarasota, Bradenton areas. It's all property types, all prices, everything. So condos, single family homes, vacant lots, townhouses, you name it. So we've got it all right here. And I went back 10 years on all of these. So July 2023 to July of 2013. So active inventory are the number of properties that are available on the market. So as we can see here, July of 2023, there were about 5,500 properties on the market. Here during COVID, February of 2022, 1,364. So we were pretty low. I mean, this is very, very low. As you can see, as you look across, we're still really below average from the last 10 years. So inventory is still pretty tight for some buyers. So if you're looking to sell, don't be discouraged. You didn't miss out. There's still room for competition as long as you're priced appropriately. And then for buyers, though, the upside is that there's a whole lot more to look at than what there was back then. That was brutal the last few years. So it's good news for everybody involved, I think. So here's where we're at with our active inventory. Let me just go back a smidge. February of 2019, almost 10,000 properties. And then going back 10 years ago, 6,000 properties. So we're almost on par with where we were about 10 years ago. Number 2, the percent of cash sales. So cash is king for sure in our area. It's not uncommon for there to be a good number of cash sales. And it really depends too. If I broke it down between single family homes and condos, there tends to be more cash purchases with condos than homes. So keep that in mind when you're looking at these numbers. Currently, July of 2023, overall, 43% of all of our transactions were paid in cash. Now, keep in mind, these are all numbers that run through the MLS. So if there was new construction that was done, didn't go through the MLS, that would skew these numbers a bit. So this is just a good general idea for you. So keep that in mind. During our peak there, top was 55.5%. Let's see, back June of 2020, when COVID first started, only 32%. So as you can see right now, we're pretty much in the middle, except for back here in March of 2014, 64% were cash. So that's quite a jump even from 2022. I'd have to look to see what was going on then because there weren't really as many foreclosures and short sales. That was like when I first got licensed in 08, 09, 10. So a lot of those things kind of faded out then. So I'm not sure why there was such a peak there, but there was. Now, if you are getting financing, don't be afraid. It's okay. We can still get you a property, even though you're getting a loan. Don't think that it's impossible. We can certainly get the job done. There's just some properties that really kind of force you to really maybe need to get cash, especially if it's a condominium that allows really short-term rentals. A little bit harder to get financing for those. But otherwise, don't fret about it. We'll get you something here. That's okay. But still, our cash purchases are still very strong in the Sarasota area. Number 3, the number of closed sales. So this is just a hard number, the number of closed sales. In July of 2023, 1844. Here at our peak, let me move my head over a bit. Oh, well, let me touch it. Okay, there we go. 3426. So again, let me jump back 1844 to 3426. Not quite double, but close. 2561 May of last year. Let's see, at the low end in more recent years, in 2019, January of 2019, about 1,200. Again, January of 2017, about 1,200. So keep in mind, these are properties then that would have gone under contract like around Thanksgiving, before Christmas. So things slow down just a smidge then. So that's why you're going to see a lower number in January. But then folks come to town. They're looking to buy January and February. So that's why we always see these peaks in March 2017, probably March 2018. Not even looking down below. That's May of 2019. March of 2019, 2,100. So that's where we see some of those peaks coming on because, again, less people maybe are really aggressively looking around the holidays. But then it kicks right back up. So you can see it's very cyclical, up, down, but a nice kind of steady trend, I think, with the exception of this fun time right here in the last few years. Let's see, May of 2023, almost 2,500 properties. March, about 2,400. So again, these peaks and valleys are really kind of in line right now. July of 2023. Let me see what our other July properties were at. 2024 and 2019. Let's see, what else do we have? Almost 1,800. So, we're right in the ballpark, more or less than what it's been in past July. So I think we're in good shape there. But those are a number of closed sales. Number 4, the list to sale price ratio. Now, I know this says median percent of original list price. So what that means, what list to sale price ratio means, or this median percent of original list prices, what's on average, what do the final sale prices look like in relation to the list price? So if something is listed at $500,000, if the list to sale price ratio is 90%, well, what it is it's selling for 90% of the 500,000, which would put it at 450. Okay. So to help you guys out a bit with that, if you're not if math isn't your favorite thing. So right here, July of 2023, on average, our list to sale price ratio is set 96%, 96.2. Now back here, it was 100% or more. So here it's come down a bit, it's bouncing around. And I think part of this too is sellers are trying to figure out what's going on with the market. Some sellers will just really price their properties a little too strong and think, well, I'll just wait for a buyer to come in and put in an offer, or no, we'll figure it out from there. But what my experience has been actually for a very long time, because as you can see, the list to sale price ratio is still very strong. Like this is still 95.5%. This is right around 95 right here, 95, 96. If we, round up, 95 back here, closer to 94. But these are really still very, very strong numbers in relation to the list price. So there's two things we need to talk about here between buyers and sellers. First of all, sellers, if you list your property a little higher than market value or too high for market value, and you think, well, I'll just wait for the buyer to come in, put in an offer, we'll negotiate, we have to leave room for negotiations. That's not necessary. Buyers are coming in with pretty decent offers. So you've got to, I'm finding that as long as you list a property at market value or very close to it, there's a good chance that right off the bat, you're going to get a decent offer within these ranges here. It's going to come in strong. You're not going to be wasting time with your house lingering on the market because it's priced appropriately, and you're going to have, just a nice solid buyer. If it's overpriced, I'm finding that often buyers will come in with very low offers, and we're just wasting time monkeying around with this dance. And maybe it's not going anywhere, or maybe the buyer isn't really legit, or the buyer's price point's way lower, and they're just hoping that you're going to be desperate. So it's this mindset with that. So I think that sellers, the closer you can kind of get to market value, the best that we can, and kind of get this as soon as possible, the better. Now I get it. Sellers obviously want to get as much money as possible. Even if we start off just a little bit high, that's okay. That's okay. We'll just kind of see what the market does. And it also depends on your motivation, really how motivated you are to sell. And then we can drop it a bit, after 3 or 4 weeks, that's okay. But we don't want it to linger too long. Otherwise, the listing's going to get stale. And then buyers, really, as you can see here, don't come in with these silly low offers if the property is priced well. Not to say that you can't come in below list price. We can certainly do that these days, but just don't come in ridiculously low. I've got a lovely listing. I think it's priced pretty well. Just had a buyer. I got an offer yesterday, really low. And I did wait to talk to the sellers first. And I text the buyer's agent and I said, oh my goodness, seriously? So, well, they're certainly going to counter. She goes, I figured that. Okay, come on, buyers. Don't do that. Because sometimes you can really torque off a seller and you can blow it. So don't be too foolish or silly unless you're just not emotional. Maybe you're just throwing out numbers to try to get something cheap. Maybe it's an investment property or something like that. But yeah, the properties are still really selling close to list price. So that's, I think, a nice thing for everybody, to be honest with you, because it's a little bit more predictable. So our list to sale price ratio, still very strong, around 96%. Number 5, the median time to contract. I think that this one is very appropriate and important to discuss in today's market because we were so used to things going under contract in hours, in days. It was incredible. So times have changed a bit, and I think it's really good for both buyers and sellers to understand. Right now, the median time to contract is around 30 days, 29, 30, 31 in the last few months. And I think it's good for everybody to realize that because for sellers, again, we have to set these expectations. Doesn't mean your property can't go under contract quickly. I just put a condo on the market a few days ago. We've got it under contract early this morning. So that was great. But it's a unique property. It's in demand. It was priced very well. And so we were good to go. So it doesn't mean that something can't sell quickly. But again, this is the median time to contract. So it could be quicker. It could take a little bit longer, around 30 days. And then buyers, now keep in mind too, that just because you see a house or property, a house, a condo, anything that's been on the market for 20, 25 days, even 30 days now, doesn't necessarily mean that it's a stale listing, that there's a problem. Okay, if the median time, again, is 30 days, it could be a little longer, it could be a little quicker. So don't dismiss a property or think that the seller should be getting desperate because it's been on the market for that long. So things have just shifted a bit. And so this is our new normal. So it'll be interesting to see what this is like, by the end of the year, by the end of 2023 and going into 24. Number 6, median sale price. So here is our median sale prices. Not quite the same as average, mean, median, mode, if you're familiar with remember those terms from your school days. So median sale price. So currently July 2023, $452,000. Now, like I said before, keep in mind, these are for single family homes and condos, townhouses. So, and it does not include the new construction, or most of it at least, because if it doesn't get run through the MLS. So if we looked at these numbers for single family homes, they're going to be higher, most likely. If we're going to look at it for condos, it most likely will be a little bit lower. So the median sale price, $452,000. And we've been lingering, just kind of bouncing up and down in that area right here, 464, 456, 440, 437. So you can see we're all just right here below the $500,000 mark. And we've been holding steady. Let's see, this is from October of last year. Okay, October of 2022. So nearly a year ago, we've been lingering in this range. And what I think is really important for both buyers and sellers to understand. Sellers, some of you think that you've really missed out because during that heyday, that boom, that craziness of multiple offers and things going under contract in just a few days. I get that. But look, the numbers are still really strong. If you were to sell your property today in July, August of 2023, compared to, let's go back just 2 years ago, December of 2021, the median sale price was $410. Or let's go back to July of 2021. So that's what, let's see, man, only 2 years ago, $380. So you have gained a significant amount of equity, even in the last 2 years. So if you say, well, man, if I had sold last year, look, I probably could have done a little better. Yep, maybe. But compared just to 2 years ago, you're still sitting really your position really nice is what I'm trying to say. You're still going to do okay. So don't be discouraged by that at all. And then for buyers, again, here we are. I don't want buyers to think that, oh, look, the sky is falling. Things are going to crash. I don't think that's going to happen. Can't say that it never will. People ask me all the time, Jill, what's going to happen with the market? What's going to happen? I think that in terms of real estate in Florida, and in particular, this Sarasota area, this greater Sarasota area, the demand is still really strong. There's, I heard before that the statistic was 1,000 people were moving to Florida every day. Now that could have changed a little bit. Could it be 900 or 1,100? That could be, but the demand is still really, really strong here. So as a result, those prices are not going to come tumbling down at all anytime soon. I tell folks that unless there's something that happens on a larger scale here in the United States where it's going to impact all markets, all industries. Of course, things can go down. I'm not going to promise you that they're going to stay at this rate for forever. But with this, independent of everything else, the real estate market, independent of everything else, I think that we're going to continue to remain strong. And I know interest rates have gone up. I haven't discussed that at all. That's not really my area of expertise, so I'm not going to dive into that so much. But here we are. Our numbers are still looking pretty good because the demand is high. And like we showed earlier, our percentage of cash purchases are still pretty strong. So that's going to help kind of keep things balanced where I don't see everything bottoming out, puttering out anytime soon. So that's just my 2 cents. Of course, if you have other thoughts, please put it in the comments below. Hey, I'm in this every day, but yet at the same time, I'm just one person's experience. And so if you have other thoughts, then I'm certainly open to hearing those. I don't want to claim that I know everything about everything. Number 7, last but not least, here's our month's supply of inventory. Now, before we jump into this and we actually look at the numbers, let's talk about what these numbers mean. When we talk about months of inventory, it's telling us if no new properties came on the market and the demand for property stayed the same, how soon would we run out of inventory? How soon would all those other numbers we looked at would drop in terms of how many properties are on the market, things like that. So how quickly will inventory dry up if nothing new comes on the market and demand remains the same? So a balanced market between buyers and sellers is, they say it's 6 months. And really could be a little bit on each side, 4 to 7 months. It's not like it has to be this hard number, exactly 6. But somewhere between 4 and 7 is considered a balanced market. Anything below that is considered a seller's market because there's less inventory and more demand. Anything over 6 or 7 months is considered a buyer's market. So now let's look at our numbers today. Right here, we can see this number right here. Oops, we're at 3 months right there. That's that number, sorry. I don't know, there used to be a drawing tool on this and I don't know what happened. So in July of 2023, we're at 3.1 months of inventory. And we've been holding right around that 3 months since March, February, even January, let's say. Of course, it was very low back here, less than a full month of inventory. Now let's go back. March of 2020, this is when COVID first got announced. And so that's at 3.9 months of inventory. Things were still up in the air really right here. This is when it all kicked off. Looking back at February of 2019, we had 5 months of inventory. Still low, more favoring sellers, but closer to a balanced market for sure. And again, March, because now the reason why we see more months of inventory during these winter months, January, February, March, is because that's when we have a lot of our snowbirds, a lot of our visitors here. And then so sellers will think, let me list my home at that time. Maybe it will have more exposure because there's more people in town, or people who, maybe have a second home here or an investment property. They'll come down during the winter months, prep it and get it on the market. So that's why we usually see this it ticks up here during January, February, March. Here's September, only 4 months of inventory. Even August of 2015, even 3 months of inventory. So you can see it's definitely this normal up down until we hit 2020 and then crashes in that regards. So there we go. There's our magnificent 7 areas that I wanted to present to you about our real estate market. What do you think? What do you think the market's going to do in the future? Obviously, I've given you a lot of information. I've given you my thoughts on things, but like I said, I know I'm not perfect. If there's something else that needs to be factored in, please put it down in the comments below. And like I said, I did not talk about interest rates at all. Obviously, if those were to double, that could change things as well. But like I said before, I think it's really nice to be able to look at the past and compare it to the present. So you have a little bit more peace of mind. It's, I think, a little bit more tangible for you. So there we go. What do you think? I appreciate you watching here all the way to the end. I hope you have a lovely day. Take care. Bye-bye.